So you want to optimize the trade in a way that the supermajority of the time, you don't have to be right directionally. Now, some of you have heard me say recently that the overall portfolio is the most important thing. If your overall portfolio is doing well and you have 2 or 3 trades that's doing poorly, that's giving you a headache and you don't even like anymore, why keep it? How to optimize a trade and portfolio. Here at Dorian Trader, you guys, we have a set of rules for all types of trades. And the rules are primarily based on credits received and max potential loss. All the rules are great, but it doesn't mean the trade based on the rules is great and or good trade for your portfolio. Therefore, in this document, we will introduce ways and things you should consider to optimize your trade to make it better for your particular situation. Optimizing is not a science, but an art that can be very subjective. This document can only give you a framework on how you can improve every trade you execute. So these are ways you can optimize a trade. Determine, are you bullish, bearish, neutral, or neutral leaning in a certain direction? This is important. We always need to have an assumption when we put on a trade, and then throughout the trade, we need to have our take. We need to have our opinion. So is it bullish? Is it bearish? Is it neutral? Or is it neutral kind of leaning bullish or bearish? Number 2, once you determine your assumption, then decide what strategy you want to use based on that belief. For example, if you're bullish, you can decide to do something like a cash secured put, which is bullish. You can decide to just buy shares, which we all know is bullish. You can decide to do a covered call, which is bullish. You can decide to do a collar, which is bullish. You can decide to do a Bonnet Bull or a modified Bonnet Bull, which is both bullish. You can just simply buy a call, which is bullish. So it's a number of different ways, you guys. This is just some of the things that popped up in my head at this point of being bullish. But you want to strategically place the trade based on your assumption and place it here at Dorian Trader. The way we do it normally is we place the trade in a way that even if we're wrong with our assumption, we can still be right. It's only one of those trades that I just mentioned that you can be, if you're wrong on your assumption, you're going to be wrong on the trade, period. And that's if you buy a call. If you buy a call, just a straight out call, if it doesn't go up, you're going to lose on that. But if you, for example, sell a put spread, well, it can still go down as long as it doesn't go down a lot. The way we trade it here at Dorian Trader, you're going to still win. So you want to optimize the trade in a way that the supermajority of the time, you don't have to be right directionally. Set the trade up correctly. So when you are setting up the trade or optimizing the trade, you can do number 3 here. You can adjust the deltas for the strategy. You can move between the 5 and the 15 delta, or you can do something that's non-standard, right? So non-standard for us is something higher than a 15 delta when you're initiating a trade that's not a cash secured put, is not safeguard type of strategy. But you're just moving between the deltas. I think I have an image here that's kind of showing that. Yeah. So you're just optimizing the trade. You might decide that, okay, well, I want to do something that's non-standard, non-Dorian Trader standard, and I want to start at a 20 delta. That's okay, right? But you have to understand the trade, understand the risk, understand why you're doing that. If we jump back over here to number 4, you can adjust the long legs if trading a spread, make it less wide or wider. And so what I mean by that is that if we're doing a spread, just go here. And let's just say, I'm just picking anything at this point, you guys. Let's say we were doing a spread that was 10 points wide, something like that. It's a put spread. Well, this long leg, I could decide, okay, well, I'm going to make it 20 points wide. Right? And then I look at all the dynamics, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Before we continue with the video, I just want to quickly point out, if you need any additional help, please consider joining our trading club. You can do that by clicking on the link in the description area, and you'll get a 3-month trial for a flat fee of $60. We look forward to seeing you in the trading club. Back to the video. Now, yes.
Would you do that preferably over adding contracts? Would you prefer to widen rather than add contracts for more premium? You take it you would.
So that's optimizing the trade, right? So you can decide to add contracts, or you can decide to increase the width. What I'm talking about now is increasing the width, but it all depends, Andrea. Sometimes on a 0 DT trade, it's better to add the contracts, or on a 1 DT or a 7 DT, or even sometime on a bread and butter. It's better to add an additional contract, and then sometimes it's better just to go wider. In this case, if we're initiating the trade and kind of setting it up, we're trying to optimize the trade at this point of um, getting the best type of scenario. So a 20 point wide, as you know, Andrea, a 20 point wide is the same as doing a 10 point wide, two contracts, right? And so in this example, you're collecting about $300, two contracts, 10 points wide, right? If I move this back to 20 points wide and I put one contract, well, we instead of collecting $300, we're collecting like 285, 290. So after fees and commissions, it's probably premium wise a little you can get a little bit more by selling two contracts 10 points wide than selling one contract 20 points wide. Okay. But it all depends on, how you want to set it up though, right? And then the next thing I was going to say here is that you might want to move the long leg, right? Let's say we start off the short leg. You might want to, instead of moving the long leg, you move the short leg. And let's say you move it like this. Well, that's going to give you more premium, obviously, but it's going to increase your deltas. And but the closer you get out to money, the more premium you're going to get. So maybe you want to make this 50 points wide, something like that. Well, that's obviously it's going to give you more premium, but it's going to also give you a higher delta. And so it's trade-offs to this game here, you guys. It's definitely trade-offs.
That's increasing your risk when you look at probability of touch.
Yes, yes. In this example, right? But you might be okay with that risk. For example, let's just say you started off like this at a 5 delta and you in 10 points wide, but you decide, okay, well, I want to do a 50 point wide spread. And so now the 50 point wide spread is at an 8 delta. Well, that's still not bad. Yes, it's increasing your delta risk, but it's still in a trade-off that you like and think is a really safe and um, good trade, better than the one that you were looking at a second ago. So it's all trade-offs, Andrea, figuring out what do you think is optimizing the trade best for your situation at that time.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So if we jump back over here, and so I just talked about number 5. If we go to optimizing the kind of portfolio things you should consider when optimizing, days to expiration, right? And so if you're doing safeguard type of strategy, which is our signature strategy here, or our bread and butter strategy, you know, diversifying based on days to expiration can be a powerful, way to help you reduce risks and help you obviously spread out the risks and put on better trades. So days to expiration you want to consider. You obviously want to consider your max loss. So, if you're doing a 10 point wide spread, one contract, your max loss is $1,000 minus the premium received. Or if you do a 50 point wide spread, your max loss is $5,000 minus the credit you receive. So once again, it's trade-offs. Now, probability of success. That's another thing you want to consider when you're doing a trade is, okay, do I want to have a 50-50 shot? Do I want to have something greater than a 50-50 shot? Something like a 90% chance of winning? Right? And then you can do it based on, maybe you have most of your trades are 90+%, probability winners or potential winners. And maybe you just say, okay, well, the market is going up a lot like it has recently. Well, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive on this trade that I'm putting on. Maybe I put this one at a 15 or a 20 delta or something like that. And so if I put it at a 20 delta, and then I I still have at expiration, I still have an 80% chance of winning, but it's not 90% anymore. Right. All right. So another thing you can consider is how much you will make if you exit the trade with a 50% or 70%, 75% profit target. So if you collect $50 when you do the trade and you're going to get out at 50%, well, the most you're going to make absolute dollar wise is $25. I just say not including fees and commissions. It's $25. Well, is that enough absolute dollar wise? If it's not, then maybe that trade is not right for you. And you have to continue to optimize it so that it will be a good trade for you. Another thing you want to consider is return on buying power. How much are you going to make on the trade percentage wise? Now, buying power is important. You might be able to do a trade that's using, $10,000 in buying power, or you might be able to do a trade that's very similar that's using only $5,000 in buying power. So most likely could have a better return on capital just using that 5,000 perhaps. But you have to do the math. And so what you do is you take your credit that you're going to have for the most of the trades we do, and say you're receiving $100. Well, if the buying power is $1,000, then you know that's 10% return on your capital. If you do another trade that you're collecting $200 and you're still using $1,000 in buying power, well, now you have 20% now return on your capital. So that's there's a big difference, but it's trade-offs to that too. Maybe that 20% is higher delta or whatever the case may be. You have to figure in all the things that matter to you, and then you make your decision. So number 6 here says the buying power effect for the trade and a portfolio. Right? So you're not only considering the individual trade, you need to be considering your overall portfolio. Now, some of you have heard me say recently that the overall portfolio is the most important thing. If your overall portfolio is doing well and you have 2 or 3 trades that's doing poorly, that's giving you a headache and you don't even like anymore, why keep it? Why keep it? Us as traders, we have to get over the mental block that we want to win on every trade. We don't have to win on every trade. At the end of the day, it's about growing our portfolio. So if our portfolio is growing and we have some trades on that we absolutely don't like and it's giving us a headache, why not just remove that? Even though you lost on it, that's fine. Your main goal should be the portfolio. And so in this case, when you're putting on trades, you should be thinking about your portfolio level, right? Is this trade going to use up too much of my buying power overall with my portfolio? Is this trade going to give me too much long deltas, like bullish deltas? Is this trade going to give me too much overall portfolio short deltas? What is this trade doing for my overall portfolio? Number 7 is talking about overall portfolio deltas. Do you need long or short deltas? Right? Are you too bullish? And just a small pullback, 1% pullback like today, can just hammer you because you're too bullish. Adding trades that are opposite of your portfolio deltas and or individual position deltas can be a great way to overall optimize. Okay, having some balance, having that good equilibrium.